This is very popular. Like I said, once you have a floor that's polished, we'll see once we get to it, whether it's with your powder or with your diamond impregnated pads. This is very popular to use as a maintenance. You just hit it and keep that shine. It's a floor that's not damaged, so you don't have to remove any damage, and you'll be able to.
That must have been way back. I was fat then.
Like I said, you guys saw it. It's pretty quick. Once I figured it out, took me a little second.
Let me get the gloss meter so
Yeah.
I can show the after.
It takes me about an hour at the house.
Thank you, though.
And if you look at it from afar, you can see all that reflection. Once you step on it, over it, you can really see the etching still there.
Yes, you can. Also, it has that mirror.
It's very popular. You'll see it in Vegas, in casinos.
Sounds good.
Like I said, when places where you're not really looking down, people are just walking by.
Houses.
Yeah. Places where people are just on the go, not really paying attention to it. It gives you that nice reflection to it.
I know. Did you have any questions?
So we'll stop here.
What is that machine? There.
Oh, yeah. That's concrete.
Oh, okay.
And now we can
We got
reference
classes on that, too.
and compare these to that, which is where we started.
I knew what I was
And you can see.
I didn't say anything. I knew it was on.
It looks like a little.
Hey, you want to?
in the middle.
Pablo.
Come out.
So we
Check it out,
started. Thank you.
The cap off.
We started here, right? About a 24.
It's a gloss meter. What it does, it measures reflective
This one
qualities
is
from the
part of
property.
the stone that we didn't take the 9. Then we get here and we get more on the area that we worked on.
Don't forget to push it down a little bit.
What's the highest gloss?
Good question. That's all going to be dependent on the stone. I can't get a travertine as high as it can get that black. So
This is a marble, correct?
that's a marble.
The
It's
entire
all
floor is
marble.
going to be marble.
It's actually all marble.
So as you guys saw, gives you that reflectivity, but we can still see that etching. So
Yeah.
our next step that we're gonna move, do we have any questions about this?
I have no questions. No, we're good.
So the next step we're gonna move into is gonna be
Careful.
now we're gonna do our powders. With powders, we are gonna remove light damage, and then we're gonna also do one step. This is wet, and there's 2 different kinds of powders that we're gonna use that we carry. So we have the Diamond Renew and the EMP. The main difference is the Diamond Renew is gonna be a little bit faster, but it's gonna be more for experienced technicians because the excess will etch your floor exactly. Whereas if you use the EMP, it has a neutralizer to it, so you don't have to worry so much about the excess on your stone because it won't etch the stone. With any powder, you are going to have to prep your area, so that is something to consider into your pricing, because you're going to have to tape everything. If it is an acidic powder, so if it gets into any cabinets or a fridge, it will damage it. So you have to include that in there.
Let's pass that around. Yeah,
Okay.
open the cap. Let's pass it around. So what would the differences be in the powder and the polish pro? What do you like about them, Pablo? The
The
difference between
powder, like I said, removes that light damage.
How is that?
And then it gets rid of light etching, just like your normal traffic, and then it brings it up to a polish in one.
So when
one
you have
step.
the powders,
right?
correct. So the crystallizer is going to increase reflectivity. It builds crystals which show reflection. Fantastic. You know what it doesn't do? There's no abrasion. It's a liquid. The powder has some abrasive to it. For us, we use what's called the diminishing abrasive. It's going to become smaller and smaller as you use it. And so you're going to scratch some of the damage out. Then you're going to go finer. You're going to go finer. And that is how it helps to increase the clarity and the reflectivity by removing more damage. So it's a process that's different. In my opinion, it could be considered better because of the abrasive quality to it. The disadvantage is it's a wet process. You're probably going to need 2 people.
Yeah.
But the advantage would be, I think it will give you bigger results. I think in certain areas where you have more damage, and we'll see, and maybe I'm wrong, but at least you can identify the 2. If you're doing a big area, and they're not paying you very much. Crystallizer all day with that burnisher, you're in and you're out. Everybody's happy. But if they're paying more, they have more damage. You know, you can always put a little bit less water and get that powder, that grit, get it a little bit drier and build a grit up where you can remove more damage, like say in front of a traffic in the doorway, right? Those are the things I like about the powder. But I think, as he mentioned, 50 cents might be a little low. For a crystallizer, you might be 50 to 85 cents, right? To get that. But with the powder, I would think you need to be up to the 125, something a square foot, maybe a 175. You know, California's got a lot of, here we have a lot of competition, but still, doing a sample would be a good idea. Take a look at it, see what you think. But those are the two advantages of the two processes that I wanted you both, YouTube, I'm looking at YouTube, but all of you to understand.
Yeah.
And yes, I like the EMP too. There's another advantage to the EMT. You want to tell them the advantage of the?
So work with it. You'll be lazy with it and let it sit for a minute.
Yep.
And do it by yourself and suction it up.
Yep.
Well,
So the EMP product is the second product we made. The first one was the Diamond Renew, stronger, fast, and it's going. And you're talking about people, as he mentioned, with more experience. They have a tremendous amount of success with it. But when you start out, you might spend too much time, you might put too much water, and it doesn't work as well for you. The EMP, the huge advantage he's talking about is that when you're done and you start getting a polish, you don't have to worry about picking it up right away. It's going to self-neutralize, which means that the water that's sitting on the floor is not going to be harmful to the stone. Quite frankly, I could polish that green Diamond Renew powder, get a fantastic look, leave some of the water outside around it, and when I vacuum it, I have a nice shiny spot with a little bit of a ghosting haze because that water was still acidic. EMP is becoming almost popular. Yes, because people, but not only that, understand this. People who like to use Diamond Renew, they love Diamond Renew, but they're very good, but they're one person. So for me, if I'm able to do it, but I hire all of you who have less experience, you're going to be using the EMP. We want to have success. That's all we're trying to do, right? So 100%. That product is all of our new people coming in. It's the one. And that's why he's mentioning it.
Not everyone's a journeyman,
right? Right.
So when we do use the Diamond Renew, we do have that little haze. What is the process? We have to start it all over again?
Yes and no. The answer is yes. You got to repolish it. What I normally do is I will put no more powder. I'll use the same pad because it has a small amount of material. I'd go over it, and I would put some alkaline water in my water tank. So that way I'm neutralizing it. So I'm using it to remove the etching that was there, and I'm using the alkaline in the water, so that water that I'm using to repolish doesn't etch another area. And then I'm pretty much done. But, you could do that. You're talking now cleaner, you're talking other things. The EMP just does it for you. But yes, good question. There is a way to shut the fire off.
If you mess up, you got to fix it.
You mess up, you got to fix it. That's right. That's right. And I answer my phone, so yeah, you should know that. I came here for it. Yeah. There's nothing you can't do we can't fix.
Okay, so we'll go into the EMP. We're going to use a white pad, and we're going to put some of the one we're going to use is going to be the EMP. Is that good, Mark?
That's good. Yeah.
All right. One thing that is important when you do it, walk the machine over the powder. Don't walk to it because the powder will go all over the air. So let me put these out of the way.
And also when you put the machine on it, he's going to put the white pad and have the powder on the edge, not in the middle, right there. And the reason is...
Am I over it?
Yeah. The reason is when you start it that way, you're polishing in a 17-inch. Because I personally, like when you first start, you don't know. Right. So I would put it down and I polished it, not even paying attention. And I got a nice little 3-inch polish area because the whole middle is polishing and not the... Yeah. Just small things. Love to share. right? Hey, Luisa, come on in. Knock it out. That's Luisa, part of our team. Everybody, Luisa, everybody. There you go. If you slip, I never saw you. I don't know what happened, man. You did. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
Signed the waiver already.
I was saying the waiver, right? She was damaged when she got here.
Signed there and everything.
Everything. She just. Yep. That looks a little thin to me. What do you think? I would put a little bit more. Sure.
Okay.
You're not paying for it.
You want to get it?
I do want to get it.
Don't slip.
I know. Don't slip, don't fall.
And the creamy consistency, the color of the white, is that the stone?
Oh, no.
itself or just
We
the
have the
powder?
open one.
In this particular situation, it's the powder. The stone will have a whitish look, and you're going to get that type of haze when we start doing some diamond restoration, because then you're going to start exposing the main ingredient of the stone, which would be calcium carbonate. Calcium is white by nature. So good question.
And is calcium an alkaline or an acid?
It's an alkaline. You know how you would know that? Because it's used in things like antacids.
Yeah.
It's used in aspirin and bubble gum. When you eat bubble gum, I don't know if you ever licked the little tinfoil plastic, because I have.
Yeah, I remember putting it on my tooth.
You remember how it's...
Grill.
But listen, though, when you did that, you were hoping for sugar, but it really wasn't sugar. It was actually marble dust. They use that because it doesn't stick, and it doesn't have anything to do, and it's helpful for your system, digestive system. But like putting too much sugar, that'd be bad.
Yeah.
So they use, and sugar gets sticky. So they put a little bit of that marble powder. That's not harmful.
Wow.
That's what you were looking at. Because it was never as sweet as you were hoping, right? Because if it was, you'd have chewed the whole thing.
Right. And gradually, how many passes do you do?
6 to 8, and then you assess.
I'm gonna, have you guys who's run a machine? We're gonna get you guys out. You run a machine yet?
I have a machine.
You have the machine.
I have a machine.
Oh, nice.
I just didn't get the mirror effect, and I was kind of upset. So.
Okay,
And then
let's talk about that. Yeah.
I'm also doing granite countertops.
All right,
I
let
did
me
the
finish
black,
your step,
and then
and
I
then you'll have you start.
in
You're
home.
going to go left to right to keep the
Right.
water in the middle.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's a preference.
Now,
I can show
With
you.
this machine,
I will tell you this.
when you go up,
we
you go
have
that way,
a
and
ceramic
you go
pad that
left, and the machine
finishes
goes
at
this way.
10,000 grit.
Oh,
You were probably starting at
No worries.
finishing
Let me
at
get
like
everything out
3,000
of
grit.
I finished at
Let me get everything
All right.
out
Well,
of the
that's
way.
one difference. That's why these are things.
I'll help.
These small things make a difference.
I'll help you. So give me a second. That way, because at the beginning it does kick too. So
So it's like a boat trailer. It goes the opposite.
No,
when you
right.
lift up,
Goes to your weekend.
when you go, no, hold on. When you lift up, it's going to go to the right. Up, right, lower, left.
and then to start it, you're gonna.
Get into an athletic position. Put one
Yeah.
foot in front of the other.
Is that comfortable? You want to have it kind of resting on your hip.
Now
So
throw a
you're not
jab.
doing all let me step over the cable real quick. So
No.
So we, step over with the other foot too. Step over with your right foot too.
So I don't know what happened, officer.
Try to
Over there
keep
in
that
Anaheim, they taught her how to
here.
throw a punch. I don't
So that you're not. So you want to keep it here, so that way you're not stepping over it.
Okay.
When you start it, there's a safety here, so you have to pull the pin, and then once you kick it, once you press it, it'll kick.
So on yours, you want to lift up slightly because you're going to want to go to the right a little
And
bit.
I press this with one hand and grab it.
Yeah, actually.
Set my back.
There you go. It has to be at the same time. As you go, there you go.
Up a little bit. Put the handle up.
And you want to try to rest.
There you go. As you lift it up, move your feet to the left.
There you go.
Move your feet to the left. Don't look at me.
To hit her right. You're right.
Okay, stop it now.
Just stop.
Just stop everything. Now I want you to move to your right. Okay. Now start again. So walk slowly. As the head of the machine moves one way, that should be right in front of you. Just move with it.
So as you go, you're gonna go here. You got. There we go.
There you go. The machine's leading you. You start leading the machine.
Then I put it back.
And
which would be down, right up to the right. So you lower the handle, it goes left towards your feet.
I'll be in the sales rep.
Hey, you had the guts.
I work with small machines.
You had the guts to get on there, man. I love that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You're good.
then
How
let's.
long has this floor been down?
I don't know. It's a good question. I can tell you what. After your mention of travertine, we need to do a little add on there. I would say it's been a couple of years. I would say we put it down maybe November.
Okay. If you want to, or you can keep going.
What happens when you see swirls in it?
It's a good question. The swirls, to me, if the swirl looks shinier, and usually it does, that means that you haven't spent enough time or you haven't used enough product. So you see how that's a consistent swirl pattern on the floor? You see how the water, it's like a consistent smear, right? It's not too dry, but it's not too watery. That's what you need. So you want to run it consistent. So how much you put down has a lot to do with how much you do at at one time. So put enough product down to be able to do a controllable area. If you're putting product and you're trying to do too much, you're painting it with a brush that doesn't have any paint on it anymore. You're just leaving the streak. So consider that. You've got to get that consistent look to it. And then, so when you start to thin that out too much, you're not using as much product. So usually it's just not enough time or product.
Yeah, you
and the
pull that
product
trigger and then
hasn't completely hit that pop.
As you go,
You haven't polished the whole
you
thing.
got it? So
question.
go right. Yep.
So you or one of you guys maybe have done that. Try and get through it. You're
As
like,
you
hey,
go up,
but that's what
right,
a swirl
when you
will.
go left.
That's how
When
it
you go
gets
down, it will go left. And if you want to try to once you get more comfortable, let it rest on your hip. That way you're not doing all that strength with your arm.
Not bad, man. How you doing? See, things.
Yeah, I got you.
How's pops?
Yeah, it'll
How's
go.
your dad?
That's why it's easier when you try to rest it on your hip and then have
Yeah,
your
right.
hip be the one that walks
ya.
it forward.
Yeah, we got this talk. We'll be here till about 1 or so. Got pizza later.
Because you got to remember also, you're going to be doing these thousands of feet. Your arm's going to wear out.
Awesome. Yeah.
So it's a little.
And the next one we're going to have
practice, but
January. It's going to be
You just gotta get it. Feels like
on countertops.
Yeah,
I know you've
exactly.
worked a little bit
by the end of
With
today, you'll have it.
with that big machine. We're probably going to use that. We might
You got
even
it?
use a 7-inch. Probably use the two-headed,
So
the
splash
Talon, a little bit of both.
If you don't want to do the whole
I know you've
setup
got
and
that, but-
clean and everything like that, is the splash guard gonna mess up the shine?
No.
Splash guard. What you want to do is you want to tape your surrounding areas. And
How'd you
so
get
you
that?
you got to use the tape and drape and just tape the
Really?
surrounding areas. I don't know about the splash guard. Let me ask Mark.
Yeah,
Out.
it's gonna mess up the
It's
shine.
awesome. It's got that good protection, too.
Maybe
That's awesome.
like the resin. I'm not
It's
sure.
a little. It's
How'd you like
a
it?
Plastic circle.
Mark, sorry. He was asking about a splash guard. Would it mess up the?
No, it's just a piece of plastic running across. No.
Okay.
No, I've used a splash guard. What I've done for a splash guard is
All right, I get it.
you know the baseboard? You can buy a
Anyone else
rubber
wanna
baseboard for a commercial building. There might even be one over here.
No,
on the
¿tienes
wall.
la mano mal?
You know the rubber baseboards, right? That go up.
Yes.
Okay. No, tranquilo, tranquilo.
Get some of that.
So,
Get
You
it
wanna
the
go
size of
hop
the
on it?
machine. You put it upside down. You put Velcro on
You've
one
used
side
it
and
before, you
Velcro on
said
the
that.
other. You just Velcro it around, and you Velcro it right off, and it's
Sí,
a
van a
rubber
estar aquí,
piece.
no sé qué.
Helps you, especially if you happen to hit.
Base coat.
Yes, the cove base, rubber cove base, and if you hit a wall, keeps you from going through it,
You pull it down.
and it
It's a
keeps all the
safety pin.
slurry in that area. Wow.
I did 2 layers,
Send me those pictures,
2 layers of guard,
okay?
smart guard
First.
first, and then the cobalt 2 layers of cobalt type.
Interesting. Okay. It looks great. It looks great.
Is there ever a
Do
time
you
where
think
I
you're
add
going to be
more
doing
water?
more of those jobs? Because I've got that product. in
Once you
Vegas.
feel like
They like this.
it's
sample.
too.
Okay.
If you feel like it's drying up, then yeah. Right now, I
Wow.
think you're fine.
How big's the job?
We added plenty of water. before.
60,000. That's the whole city. All right.
But we're gonna do
The biggest thing with
Those
the
are the
water, you
schools,
want
right?
to have it be at a point where it's controllable to you.
in the summer.
So
Well,
It's not
we
a
gotta get
whirlpool
the
slash.
exactly, you're not drowning the floor, but
Yeah,
at the
give
same
them
time, you're not
filter.
fighting the machine because
Wow.
it's dry. So you
When
want to
you
keep it
did you walk on it
controllable.
afterward? And how
Whatever
did you
you're
think it felt?
comfortable
Did it
with.
felt harder?
Yeah, so we do the Monday through Friday jobs over there. We do all the deep cleans. So
Okay.
we're gonna be maintaining.
Try and use ProClean. Try it on your when you
How
clean
big is the
because
area
that
that
is
we
our
should do?
streak-free cleaner.
Like a
That's what's
4x3?
happening is just like the guard. The reason
I
we don't
wouldn't.
use
Yeah, I would
Crystal
do
Clean
like
is
maybe
something for
this
the
area.
guard clean.
Again, it's all about
We have
trying to have
ProClean
it be
for that concrete
controllable,
because
something
those
that you
materials
know
are not
you can
absorbent. So
you
the
can
vinyl
manage.
product.
It's also going to
not
depend on
absorbent.
whether you
When
have,
use
if you
something
have a
with
helper or
surfactant,
not,
we
you're going to
get
do bigger
residue.
or not.
So what you want to
If
do
you
is
don't have a
streak-free
helper and you're having to do it and vacuuming, you're going to
Yeah,
go
when it comes to cleaning
smaller at
it,
a time. But if
yeah,
you got
let me know.
somebody
We'll get
vacuuming
you
for you,
one.
you're able to
Want you
do
try
it.
it out?
He's vacuuming, you're moving on to the next one. And that's why with these, it's recommended that you do have two people because once the machine stops, you're not making any money. So you want to have it running and then a guy doing the prep work, setting up all the tape and drape, getting it all ready. Then he's vacuuming, he's putting water if you need it, all that stuff for you. And as you're finishing an area, he's also picking that up. That way.
That's a nice. And then cleaning the equipment once you're done with it. Yeah. Here you go, bud.
Yep. That's the other
Cause
lady.
that white stuff is horrible to get off once it dries, dude. But
So-
it dry, right? I had some nice shoes on one
So
day.
what-
I had to throw them away.
You might have made enough money to buy a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
And the only reason I'm doing this is to make it easier to
Vacuum it all.
vacuum it all up right now. So. I got it. All right. They don't want you doing this stuff. Let me get it.
That damage on that?
We did have some etching on it. Ow. It's the water is still draining. Yeah, that's fine.
What do you think? All right, I see a lot of shine. I don't see any of the damage. What do you think? You see any of the damage? You remember we put some acid on it before. We had some etching.
There's still a little bit right here.
All right. Oh yeah, I see it.
But what are those brown marks that are right there? Is this because it's old tile that's been
No, that was from the.
The tires from here.
I think it was the burnisher or the tires or both.
I think it's the tires from the burnisher.
Gotcha.
Because at first it was like kicking me.
Oh, and it slid.
Yeah, it kicking. So I think it just burned.
So that'll come off with diamonds.
So these are all three barbell, right?
Yeah.
So one's white, one's black, one's that color.
Mhm.
Where do they get it from? Is it all from the same spot?
Ooh, good
or
question. So think about like people, okay?
ethnicity?
When you were talking about, let's say, aspirin, it works on all of us because we're all made the same. We look different because of where we come from.
Okay, so you guys see it?
When you look at these black stones, they have natural resources in them like petroleum and crude oil. That material tends to be found, and those impurities tend to be in, say, India, countries like that where you have those natural resources. Italy happens to make a very good reds, especially because the soil is very rich. Right? Italian wines, you think about that, there's a lot of materials in there that are going to help it grow. It's very rich in soil. That changes the color. Clay, iodines that are going to make that red. When you have a white stone like this, you're talking about a more pure stone. That's why a lot of your buildings, your government buildings, they use that. It's very easy to work with. The Statue of David, it's more pure. It's not going to crack or chip. Easier to, it's just more dense. Ideally, and it's going to hold up because it has less impurities. The impurities are going to give it its color, and those impurities are based on where you pour it, like the people, right? So the green stone, that would be something poured near areas where you have a lot of water, right? Jade, algae, right? Godzilla, all these different dead fish, Amazon, and so that tends to give it the color. And green tends to be a little bit more difficult to work with because of this calcium. Talked about how everything we do works with the presence of calcium. Calcium is white by nature, so just know the less white you have, you're a little bit more challenging in some cases. For us, the EMP, you see how it works on the black? I've got no problems with dark colors. The EMP works fantastic. I just want you to be, as a general rule, be knowledgeable that more black is less calcium, darker in color, and when the calcium is white. In case anybody's wondering, in the white, those gray lines, those are actually iron deposits, which means we get calls. People have rust in their stone. It'll turn purple, right? Yeah. No, it'll turn gray or it'll rust like an orange. What kind of stone do you have? White. Of course it is. Because the water is penetrating one way or another, it's causing it to oxidize. The purple would be trying to, the chemical that's used to take that out, which are there.
That's travertine, right?
No, that's the chemical on the rust. Doesn't matter what color stone.
It just sucks it out of the stone.
Yeah. It goes after it and gets rid of it. So that's another one like the stone. No matter what color it is. You mentioned travertine. I'm talking about in a shower. I'm talking about a product that's going to remove rust. And so that product will work on any of the stuff. So good question. Again, like the polish. Got calcium, we're going to be able to knock that out because it has calcium. In your case, the purple, it's not the travertine that causes the purple. It's the reaction of material looking for binding oxidation iron deposits.
Okay.
So the good thing about that comment and this whole little conversation is that it works on any color stone. Yeah. Regardless. Again, like the powders do. So keep that in mind. Those are, again, other issues. Keep your ears open. Keep your ears open. Give us a call. Could be opportunities for you there that we've seen. Right. We can work with you on. Let's take a little break.
Yeah, and then let's just do these real quick. So we saw it was at 29 on this one right here. Now it's at 77. This one was around 60 something. Now we get it to 94. So it is shiny. Obviously, the powder still has left some etching, but it got it better. You can definitely tell here a lot easier than you can find it on that one. So again, it removes light etching, doesn't get rid of all of it. The next step that we will do will be the diamond impregnated pass, and that will get even more into removing the etching.
Absolutely.
So, want to take a little break, you said?
Yeah, take a 5-minute break. Restrooms here, donuts are over here, water's over here, coffee's over there. Ishmael's over there. Say hi, Ishmael. Ishmael runs the store. He's right over here. I want you to say something, not now. Let's get together what we're going to do for a sale or something. I know we always put something on sale.
Now, obviously, you saw Polish Pro, then you saw the EMP. That's what we consider polishing. Those are the processes you can do one step and get in and out. Next, now we're gonna work with the DIP. Those are diamond impregnated pads. They're these ones right here. What they are is they have diamond spray on it. I'm passing them around so you guys can see it. The diamond abrasive is gonna remove more damage, more etching than the powder does. It's still not gonna be a full restoration. For that, we will use diamonds, and that's gonna be the last step. But in a lot of places where they want to remove damage, but they don't want to pay for a full restoration, this is a very good way to do it. We'll see how it reacts to the etching that we caused, still there, and then you'll see the result when we can compare. And the good thing about this, it is a green polish, so you just add water to it because it already has a diamond. A lot easier of a process. In 3 steps, you can get to a high polish. The step 1, you're looking about an 800 grit. Step 2, you're looking about a 3,000, and step 3 is about a 11,000. These pads are stiff, which allow us to cut flatter in marble. We do have another version, which are the zoom pads. They're going to be in that wall. They're the tan ones. The reason why we have those, that was the first system. This one was created to simplify it, and it's become very popular in marble because, like I said, you can get to a high shine very quickly. If you are working travertines, the zoom pads are very popular because, one, they are more squishy, so they have more give. You're able to get to lower areas better. They give you a wider range of options as far as finishes goes, because you go all the way from 200 to 11,000. So with travertine, which when you get out of the box, you're probably looking at about a 600, 400, 600, and the highest most people go on it is about 1,500, maybe 3,000. They don't really get that kind of a shine. You have more options for finish. So if they're looking for a hone, you can do a 200, 400, maybe 800. Some people consider that hone. If you're looking for a satin or a patina, you got your 800, your 1,500, and your 3,000. And then if you want your high polish, you can go with your 8,000 to 11,000. So there's more options for it with travertine. That's what those are more popular. Today we're doing marble. These are more popular, like I said, because they go to a higher polish, which is what most people want on just 3 steps. Now, you don't have to go all the way up to 3 steps. You might get to a point where you do 2 steps and that's shiny enough for the person. Maybe just the step 1 is what they wanted. So that's why we said about it's very important for you to do a sample, because you can manage the expectations, see what the result is. And again, some people might be cool with 2 steps. You get out and that's it. They're very good, like I said, for removing damage. It is something that's very popular also for maintaining. So once you have a floor that's shiny, if you go with frequency and you do a maintenance, you might be able to get away with even just using a step 3 to keep it shiny. You might have to go step 2 or 3, depending on the frequency or how much traffic that area has. But
and how much they can afford.
Yeah. So
Square footage.
you're gonna get what, couple thousand on marble?
I always say 1 to 3,000 because we did some work. We did that video for the mall,
Mm-hmm.
and the pressure was light, and their pads are going like 5,000 square feet. That's a little, but they've been using a lot of the number 3, so they don't let it get bad. If you have lippage, that's going to knock some of the life down. Travertine, because the abrasiveness shortens the life. So 1,000 to 3,000 square feet, I'm pretty comfortable with that. And I know it's a window of this much, but
Water can do. Water saves the pad more, or
good question. Yes, you need the water for lubricant, and trying to dry it really fights you, spinning around. Yeah, it's tough. You probably have no problem doing it, big guy. It's not fun.
No, it's not.
Now with these, when you go, if we have another option, which is the hone, and that one is used if people want to leave it at a hone. You can just hit it with that pad. You don't want to. You can remove damage, but if you use these to remove damage instead of the diamonds when you're doing restoration, what happens is you're gonna generate texture on the stone once you get to the higher grits. It's what's called orange peel. So with going through step 1, 2, and 3, it generates a little bit, but again, some people are going to be okay with it because they don't want to pay the full price of a restoration. So it's all about seeing what the customer wants to pay. And with these, it's not that noticeable. But if you were to hit it with a hone and then 1 to 3 with just the DIPs, you would generate that orange peel, which is that texture. Some people are okay with it, some people don't want that. So that's why for restoration, we go with the diamonds, but it is an option in case they want the closest thing to a restoration without paying the restoration. Because when we get to it,
also, if you're trying to match it to like a new section, you want to go diamonds. So this is good, but great is coming, and that would be the full diamond restoration thing. So, well, yes, your question, yeah.
Is it good for limestone, quartz, and onyx?
Limestone, yes.
Yes. The answer is yes. The onyx is soft, and it will leave a slight texture, but not too bad, especially if you use like one pad, because the onyx is soft enough to shine. The quartz, you said?
Yeah.
Quartz. The quartz, you can use it to clean and to bring like the light polish at the end, but some of that damage, we have diamonds for quartz damage for countertops, or specifically for that. We'll talk about that in the next break. Could you use it? Yes, but we have other products that are better. Some of the damage is going to be extreme and in one area. Like when you put a hot pan on quartz, you dull that resin. We have creams for that. We have diamonds for that, depending on the severity.
¿Quiere probar la máquina?
The question, I mean, yeah, you could. We have to stay there. And actually, that would be that class, right? We're gonna do that countertop class. We'll be playing with green.
In January, yes.
January, yeah.
Right around the corner.
Gracias.
No, I hate that, right? All of a sudden,
So, ¿lo vas a querer que esté? ¿Qué? Ese es el paso 2. Ahora vamos a empezar con el paso 1.
and you know what makes
Step
it worse?
1,
Like for me, it's
you're gonna want it
2:30,
que esté a la altura de tu cadera.
and it gets dark so
Así estás
fast,
bien, así
right?
estás cómodo. ¿Vas a querer que se apoye en tu cadera? Ahí. Ok, lo bloqueo.
Yeah, like
At
I have,
dinner for lunch and like have a light snack and go to bed.
yeah, and then being cold and everything.
Ok, al principio vamos a tirar ahí, de aquí, para dejar que el agua...
You get a full day in there.
Sí, sí, se jala.
They have spotlights
Jálalo un poco.
on, tractors, all hours. Yeah.
¿Qué? ¿Ya está bien? ¿Ya?
Yeah, it's all
Ahora,
automated. It's
vas a darle ahí. ¿Has usado la máquina alguna vez? Sí. Ok.
Yeah, I had a back surgery recently, so I gotta walk.
Al principio tira un poco, si quieres yo la aguanto. Ok. ¿Ya? Si vas a querer ir hacia allá,
Right.
ahora tira un poco de agua. Un poco de agua. Cuando vas llegando a la zona que está ahí, vas a tirar un poco de agua. Muy bien. Luego si puedes subir a la segunda, o si quieres quedarte la primera, como veas.
And with these paths, like just cleaning stone in general, you don't have to get a little 7-inch one and do it like how they do the grinding of concrete and everything like that.
It's a good question. For me, the job is the job. Okay? Nobody's gonna walk in that corner. I think most of the time you're going to inspire follow to it. So if you're asking me, I stay like 2 feet away. So no, I don't go watching. I may on the last one, but it's not. Think of it like carpet. When you look at carpet and carpet care people, they spend 80% of the time and 20% of the floor. That traffic.
This is
Might
like
move
wax.
the couch, nothing's under there. You know, but don't do it. Different. So that's kind of my impression. Now, that doesn't always mean it's perfect. I've had people who told me a story about somebody who was not happy with not getting the corners. Was adamant about it. So we say, okay, he was $4 a foot, something like that. To do restoration.
Pretty good.
So we counted all the countertop, or all the corners. It said 8 corners, 8 times 4 is 32, $32 off the bill. So people are all different. That's what we kind of do. Do I have a tool that oscillates and gets in the corner? Yeah. I've never sold yet.
And we also have the pads that are 7-inch. And those pads are great for your demo. That's what you want to use on the demo. You get a 2x2, you use the hand machine, you use that, and you can produce.
Yeah, that's 7-inch.
It's good for the demos.
Use that. You go up, there's only a 3/4 inch, maybe an inch difference because you have that round tool in a corner. So now you're talking about 1/4 inch to an inch. So yeah, I would definitely consider blending into the site.
Este es el tercer pase.
But if you
¿Cuántos llevas?
if you go in
Tres.
with one step, you gotta
Okay.
keep going, otherwise that damage will come out.
3 más y paramos con esta.
Once you start,
You're committed, man. Yeah.
And that milky is just the stone, right?
So that's the diamond abrasive, removing some of the stone, yes.
Whatever.
Somebody may have grabbed it, shot.